Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Amy and I travel pretty much full-time while working remotely, and today I thought I would share the best remote jobs out there so that you can do the same. I'm going to be sharing jobs that I've done personally, as well as some I haven't tried before but are really great ways to make money online. As a warning, a lot of these jobs are ones that are kind of in the marketing, social media, writing sphere. However, there are going to be ones that I've never done and are in a completely different field that are worth checking out and you might not have heard of before. And I'll also be rating each job at the end of a scale of 1 to 10 so that you can decide if it's a good option and something you want to look into. Let's get into it. Training AI and AI annotation has become a very popular job in the past few months or maybe year as AI has really picked up and become really popular. I think we can all agree that AI is not perfect and we need people to look at the information that's getting put out there and make sure it's accurate, categorize the information, and just do a little bit of research to make sure what's going out through AI is correct. Day-to-day tasks include annotating images, transcribing audio, fact-checking information, and adding natural language into the AI language. So one of the biggest pros of this job is obviously the flexibility that it allows, because you can choose which projects you want to work on, and a lot of these jobs start at $17 per hour and go all the way up to 40 an hour, sometimes even more depending on your skill set. You can apply for jobs like this on a website or platform called Data Annotation. There are a few others, but I recently applied through that one. It requires an entry test that took, I want to say, a few hours to do, because there were 2 entry tests actually, and they say it's, I think, up to 2 hours for the first one and then 45 minutes. It took me over 4 hours to do all of that and I still haven't heard back. So the negative side of this particular one is that it takes a few weeks or sometimes even a few months to hear back from them. So you don't actually know if you're going to get the job right away. You have to kind of just wait, and if you don't hear back from them, you just don't get the job. So I would look into some other platforms as well. When doing research for this video, I found that Remote Tasks is another one that people recommend doing for AI work, but they also have other remote jobs on there. And OpenTrain AI is another one that you can use to find work, but you have to kind of go on and seek out different work options that are available and apply to them directly. So it might take a little bit more time to find something on there. I'm gonna go ahead and give this job an 8 out of 10 because I do think it takes a little bit of time to get accepted and get on one of these platforms, but once you're on it, you can make a lot of good money. You have so much flexibility and you can just decide when you want to work, where you want to work. So I think that is great, but it will take a little bit of time to get there, and there is a small barrier to entry, so that's why it does not get higher than an 8. If you have any sort of experience with kids or you're a native English speaker, you can be teaching English online. You don't always need a degree to apply to these positions, which is great because it means there's a lower barrier to entry. However, it does help if you have an undergraduate or bachelor's degree to get started. The first thing you'll have to do in most cases is get a TEFL, which can be done online. That stands for Teaching English as a Foreign Language. So it's a certificate that you can do, and there's different requirements based on the job. So sometimes you need a 200-hour certificate. There's different variations of that. And I actually found mine on Groupon for I think $100 or maybe less. So if you're looking for a TEFL, do not buy the really expensive ones. You don't need to pay $1,000 from some fancy place to get a TEFL. You can be spending less than $100 to get it done. And I'll link the one that I used if it's still on Groupon so you can find it. It was fine. I got hired for a position with that TEFL, so I would recommend that one if you are looking into this job. One popular platform to teach English online is called VIP Kid. It is typically for Chinese students and they want North American teachers, but I'm sure you can be located in other parts of the world if you're a teacher as well. The pay is generally between $14 and $22 per hour. The one drawback here is the time difference. So if you are teaching kids in China, you're gonna have to be getting up at weird hours, and it really just depends on where you're located. QKids is another platform you can use that's centered for Chinese students. They actually provide the lesson plans for you in this case, and they pay $16 to $20 an hour. And for both QKids and VIP Kid, you need to have a bachelor's degree to get that job. So italki is another platform you can use, but it's one where you set the rates, and that means that you can change it depending on how much you want to charge. However, the pay range is usually anywhere from $15 to $30 an hour, and you're gonna have to create all the lesson plans on your own. Magic Ears is another one centered for Chinese students, and this one pays anywhere from $18 to $26 an hour. I'm not quite sure how their process is and if you need a degree, so I would look into that. Cambly is a really good one for international students, so it's not just China and you can find students around the world. It's more of a one-on-one conversation and not a strict lesson plan, so that might be easier if you don't want to have to plan lessons. However, the pay is a lot lower at around $10.20 per hour. I'm going to go ahead and give Teaching English Online a 6 out of 10 because the pay really varies. You have to work with different time zones, and one thing is if you're planning on working remotely in a different country, you have to make sure you have strong internet connection at all times, which can be hard to do if you're in somewhere like Central America or South America and the connection isn't great. Moving on to a job I've personally done, which is copywriting. Copywriting can be a really good remote job, however, it can be sometimes really hard to actually find the work and get started. I initially found copywriting work through word of mouth because I had a degree in English and communications and had done a little bit of work in internships and stuff like that related to writing. So I had some experience already. Then I supplemented that work with work on a platform called Fiverr. I honestly wouldn't recommend getting on Fiverr now. At the time, it was a really good way to make some extra money, but you have to start out charging very little and then up your price as you get more reviews. And I don't think the Fiverr platform really supports the people that are working on there very well. They take a 20% cut of every single job that you do, which I don't think is really that fair considering the price that you have to charge in the beginning. And if you're not working on that consistently and getting reviews every few months, then they basically lower your level and you aren't shown to other people, and then you essentially stop getting work. So I've kind of stopped working on Fiverr for like the past year now. I actually don't remember the last time I was on there, so that's something I wouldn't recommend doing, but there are a few other ways that you can earn money as a copywriter. Upwork is another platform and they also take a cut, so it's similar to Fiverr, but you have to apply to jobs instead of having people come to you. I didn't really like using Upwork personally. Instead, I would recommend looking for long-term clients that you can just pitch to directly. It means you have to go through social media, go on the internet, and just look for people that might need your writing skills, or even just promote that you are a copywriter on social media and look for clients that way, because I think that's the best way to get a long-term client and get someone that will pay you what you're worth. You can also find copywriting work on remote job boards, on LinkedIn, and all those sorts of different platforms like that. If you're looking for something that is like a full-time or part-time job, you can also find freelance opportunities that way. And I wouldn't discount that altogether. There's so many different job boards. I'll put a link to a list in the description, so if you want to check that out, it will be free to access the best remote online job boards. The pay for copywriting really varies depending on what type of work you're doing. So you can be earning anywhere from $10 to a few $100s per hour depending on experience and the scope of the work and the project. And you also charge differently depending on who you're working with. You might charge hourly, you might charge per project, or you could be charging on a monthly retainer rate. You can also earn a lot of money as a ghostwriter, which is someone who is writing in replacement of someone else. So you could be writing a book for someone and they would slap their name on it, and because they are taking the credit even though you're writing, you would be earning a lot more money than a typical copywriter. So those positions are really great if you can find them, and a good way to add some extra income and something I really enjoyed doing. For example, if you are a ghostwriter for a novel working on a book project, you can earn anywhere from 10 to 50K for that one book, plus a commission of the book sales. I would give copywriting an 8 out of 10 because I think once you find a way in and you can get some work, it is a really good job to have. It's super flexible because you're working on different projects and you can kind of work at your own pace as long as you meet the deadlines. I really enjoyed it and I would definitely do some more copywriting work in the future. If you're looking for a remote position that has a very small barrier to entry, then live chat support might be your best option. The role involves answering questions, resolving issues, and having a good understanding of the product or service. It's a customer service role that requires quick thinking and good communication. One platform you can use when getting started is called Live Person, and the pay is anywhere from $12 to $20 an hour. Zendesk is another place that you can look for work, and the pay starts anywhere from $13 to $18 per hour. You can also look on Upwork. A lot of people charge anywhere from $15 to $25 an hour, but as I was saying, I don't personally like Upwork because I think it is a lot of work to apply to these jobs and it is pretty oversaturated and a lot of people are applying to each one. And then of course LinkedIn has this type of work with the pay ranging from $12 to $20 per hour. One great thing about this job is the flexibility, because as you might know, live chat support runs 24/7 for a lot of companies, which means there are a lot of hours they need to fill where they need someone to be working. This means that you might be working at a weird time of night. However, if you're working from a different part of the world, it actually could work to your benefit, and you could be working during the day when you want to be working and just earning some extra money. I would give this job a 7 out of 10 because of the low barrier to entry. It's also just an easy, good way to make some extra cash. However, it could be a little bit mundane and boring, so that's why it doesn't score any higher for me. UGC, otherwise known as user-generated content, is another position that has popped up and gained a lot of popularity in the past few years, mostly due to TikTok. So a lot of companies need video content, especially because video is just taking over social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. So everyone needs video content and they might not have the resources or the time to do so. So that means they will hire someone like you to come in, film a video of their product or film videos about their services to promote it. But the key here is you're not actually posting it on your own channel. So you don't need to be an influencer. You are just creating content for them to share on their company social media. So the great part here is that you don't have to have a huge following. You just have to know how to create good video content that's engaging and shows off the product and service. To get started, you can actually just find products at home and create some sample videos and use that as a portfolio. I would just create one for free in Canva, and then you can use that content to pitch to different people and find UGC work. Because UGC is kind of new, there aren't that many platforms that look for UGC creators, and the ones that do wouldn't really pay that well. So for me, I have pitched to different brands UGC content, and I think that is the best way. If you're looking at different social media, different brands that you love, and just seeing how their social media is, you can see if they have a lack of video content and then pitch your UGC services to them. If you really want to work for a particular brand, I would buy the product, create a video for them, send them a sample and send them some free work and show them what they can get from you. And then they will be much more willing to actually hire you afterwards and get you on full time to create some content for them, or just on a monthly retainer. And I think that's a really good way to be earning some extra money and working remotely. When you're just starting out with UGC, you can charge anywhere from $50 to $200 per video, and the video is usually no longer than a minute long. When you have experience, you can charge upwards of $500 or sometimes even more, especially if you are very good at creating this content and it's engaging and can convert to sales. There are platforms like Casting Call Club and Voices.com that do voiceover work, which is similar to the UGC stuff, and you can apply there to do just voiceovers for videos. So if you want to be the voice behind a video and you are good at talking to the camera, that could be a really good option. The pay there can be anywhere from $20 to $100 per project. The one downside with UGC work is, depending on the clients you're working with, it might be hard to ship the product to you if you're in different countries all the time like I am. So that's why it's not something I do all the time. But if you're located in one particular place, then it's pretty easy to get stuff shipped to you at one location. I would actually give this job a 9 out of 10 because I think it's a really fun, creative position. You don't need to have a degree, you don't need to have that much experience. You can put together a great portfolio that showcases your work, pitch to clients, and start making money very quickly. So I've already done a full video on affiliate marketing and some tactics I use to earn more money with my affiliate sales. However, today I'm going to look at the job side of it and show you a little bit more about how you can get involved and get into affiliate marketing and how I would score this remote position. Affiliate marketing is when you promote a brand's product or service through a generated link that is affiliated to you, and then you earn a commission on each sale of that product or service. So Amazon affiliates is a very popular one. You earn anywhere from 1 to 10% commission generally on all of their products. I personally don't like using Amazon associates or the affiliate program with Amazon just because I don't really like to promote that company, but you can find brands and companies that you do want to promote that you truly love, and I think that's the best way to go about it. So the best way to find these jobs and find the affiliate partnerships is to literally just search on Google brand name affiliate program. So that's how I found most of the affiliate programs I've joined and become a part of. Sometimes if you're already creating content, brands will reach out to you and ask if you want to join the affiliate program as well. But if you haven't started creating content yet, then I would start creating some content in the background and then start applying to these positions. The thing about affiliate income is that it will vary depending on the program you're a part of. So some affiliates will only earn me a few dollars per sale, while others will earn me $100. So obviously you want to find ones that are going to pay you more per sale, and you don't need to have that much experience in creating content, but I will say it definitely helps to have a bit of an audience, because otherwise you're just kind of selling to no one. So if you already have an audience that trusts you and wants some recommendations from you, it's a lot more authentic to start selling affiliates that way. I personally only earn a few $100s through affiliate sales every month, and it's not something that is high on my priority list. So if it is something that you're doing more continuously, you could earn a lot more money, but I don't think it's necessarily the best job when you're just starting out. I think it's a little bit better to start doing that if you're already creating content. Because there is a little bit of a barrier to entry and it takes time to build up these sales, I would only rate this job a 5 out of 10 or maybe a 6 out of 10. I do think it takes a little bit of time to earn money with affiliates, and anyone who says you're going to earn money overnight is kind of just lying to you. If you want to learn more about affiliate marketing and see how I went from $0 to a few $100s per month, then watch this video that I posted a few months ago. It will be very helpful and give you a few key tips that will take your sales from 0 to possibly even thousands. If you're organized and looking for a remote job, becoming a VA or virtual assistant might be the best position for you. This is a job I've never done personally, but I have a good friend that I met traveling who has done it for a while. Common tasks in this position are like email management, customer service management, data entry, like all the different like little nitty-gritty things that someone might need help with their business. You might also be required to make some phone calls and schedule things for them. You don't necessarily need a degree or even much experience to get started in this position, which is great. If you don't have experience, you can just lean into the skills that you would need for this job from your previous experience. So if you have any customer service experience from a different job, you can just lean into that when you're applying for positions. Rates are kind of all over the place for VAs because you generally decide your rate when you go into it. There are so many platforms that you can apply for VA jobs. I'm going to leave them on screen so you can see them. But I think another way you can go about it, again, is just pitching yourself to people who might need an assistant and need a little bit of help with their business. Entry-level VAs typically charge around $20 an hour. Mid-level VAs charge anywhere from $20 to $35 per hour, and experienced VAs charge anywhere from $35 to $50+ an hour. And if you're looking for VA work, I would suggest looking for clients that you can get on a monthly retainer, and that way you can earn anywhere from $500 to $3,000 per month with just one client. I think VA is a really good remote job. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 because of the low barrier to entry and just how you can earn some really good money pretty quickly, but you also have to be the type of person that enjoys that work. I don't know if I would personally like it very much, but if it sounds like something you'd be interested in, I would definitely check it out. Savvy with social media but not an influencer? Well, you could become an influencer brand manager. These people handle brand deals, negotiations, email management, all of those sorts of things for an influencer to make their life a little bit easier. A degree is definitely not necessary for this position, but you will need some relevant experience in marketing or social media and just be savvy and know everything about the social media channels at the moment. To gain some experience, I'd recommend reaching out to different influencers and offering to manage them for free. So that way you can build up a portfolio and make sure you get some testimonials from the influencer and from the clients that they're working with or that you're working with before you start charging people. When it comes to landing the job, you can look on LinkedIn or you can look at specific talent agencies to find open positions. Of course, I'd personally just reach out directly to influencers online that don't have management at the moment and see if you can represent them, because I think that's the best way to earn a lot of money with this position. Freelance influencer managers charge anywhere from $50 to $150 per hour, plus they typically earn a % commission on every brand deal that they bring in for the clients. As a full-time position, entry level will earn anywhere from $40 to $55K per year, but mid-level experience can earn anywhere up to $80K a year, and if you're very experienced, you can earn up to $128,000 per year. I actually think this is one of the best positions for remote work online. I would give it a 9 out of 10. The only hesitation I have here is landing the position. I feel like it could take you a little bit of time to actually get something, but I think it's a really cool job and something that's going to be around for a little while longer. Now I have another one with low barrier to entry, and it's online surveys. The purpose is to answer questions for market research and help develop different products and services for brands that are putting out the surveys. The topics can vary, and there are many different platforms that you can get on, but you need to make sure that you're getting on one that is legit, because a lot of them can be scams. There are a few well-known and vetted ones that I'm going to put on screen so you can take a look at those. One thing about doing online surveys is that you typically have to fill out a very long profile, and this can take a long time if you're doing it on multiple platforms. And some of these platforms have a very high threshold to cash out, meaning you might have to wait until you're earning $15 or $20 or even $10 to cash out, when surveys don't really pay that much. So you have to fill out many surveys to actually get to that point where you can take out the money. It's also important to note that some of these survey companies will pay you in gift cards, and that's not something I would really want to be paid in. I would be looking for ones that pay you directly through your bank or through PayPal. Surveys are a pretty low paying job, so it will start at surveys that pay you like I don't even know, like 10 or 20 cents per survey for short ones. Then for mid-level ones, they might pay you a couple of dollars. And then for long surveys that could take you up to an hour to complete, they might only pay you $5 to $10 for that. And that's a bit of a stretch, even $10. So as you can see, it's not the best in terms of money. Not gonna lie, I think this is the worst remote job on this list, but if you need something to just get you started and start earning a little bit of money on the side, it's not going to hurt to do any of these surveys. It just might not be worth your time, which is why I'm giving it a 2 out of 10. Moving on, we have social media manager. If you're on social media a lot and you know how to create good content, then this could be a really good position for you. You don't need a degree to get started, but of course, if you have a degree and relevant experience, it could really help you land a job immediately. I'd look into LinkedIn for full-time remote social media positions or even part-time. But you can also, once again, pitch yourself to people who might need your services through social media. Doing some social media work myself, I know that it can pay well, especially if you're in a long-term contract with a brand. If you're just starting out, you can charge anywhere from $15 to $30 per hour or $1,000 to $3,000 per month. With experience, you can charge anywhere from $30 to $60 an hour and $3,000 to $6,000 per month. There isn't really a cap on this, like you can keep charging more and more and more, but you're gonna have to be able to show results and show the brand that you can create excellent content, great copywriting, and just know how to reach their audience in a way that they can't do without you. So as you can see, pay really varies, but it is good because it's flexible and you can choose which brands you want to work with and how many you want to work with. That said, it can be a very tiring job, especially if you're required to engage 24/7 or have your phone on you at all times, answer calls, and be on a lot of meetings with these companies. I personally don't love doing a lot of video calls, especially because I'm in countries that don't always have the best internet connection. So I try to avoid doing calls myself, but if you don't mind doing that, it can be a really good job. I would give it a 7 out of 10 because it is a really good way to start working remotely. Just make sure that you aren't going to burn out if you're doing this job. You really have to be creative all the time and put a lot of your energy into creating a brand and helping this brand flourish. So that's something to keep in mind. Lastly, we have content creator job, which is what I do currently remotely. If you're creative and like working for yourself, it's going to be a great remote job. I recommend doing 1 or 2 platforms and start building that up. I started out on TikTok, then Instagram, and then now I'm on YouTube as well. It does take time to earn money as a content creator, so keep that in mind before you get started. You have to be patient and willing to spend a few months building up an audience before you're earning really good money. And of course, brand deals are kind of the main way that a lot of people earn money through social media, but you can figure out which platforms you can also get monetized with through AdSense, like on YouTube, because as a Canadian, I don't get paid through Instagram or TikTok AdSense. So while it's a really good remote job, you can't expect overnight success. You're gonna have to work for it and be willing to wait a few months to get to the point you want to be at. I love being a creator, so don't get me wrong here, but the one downside is that you're constantly working. You're always going to find something that you can be doing, more content to create, so you don't always have a lot of downtime, and brand deals will fluctuate, your pay will fluctuate every single month. So if you're not comfortable with that, it might not be the best option for you. That said, I still give it a 9 out of 10 for remote jobs because it's the job I'm currently doing and I do really love despite having a few downsides. So that wraps up all the remote jobs that I found today. If you want a part 2, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate you so much. If you haven't subscribed, do so now and hit the like button. I'm going to be posting more content like this every single week. I already post videos every Wednesday, so if you're interested in seeing more about digital nomad life, budget travel, solo travel, any of my travel vlogs, go check them out, and I will see you next week for another video. Bye!